Hi folks, just a little video that I haven't done. This is a video that Richard Vobes has made, and I've had to put it up because it does deal with the issue of common law and he explains it so well, so hence me showing you this video now. So Richard Vobes, check him out.
Is the government? Or should I ask, what is the government? I've been exploring common law quite a lot recently, and I've been talking to various people. And in the last few years, I've found myself questioning, and you've noticed me do that on this channel, questioning what's going on. And where certain information comes in, I'm trying to share that and keeping within the terms and conditions of the video platform that I'm on. And sometimes I'm using allegory or I'm using sarcasm. I'm using wit and humour to try and get messages across. And we do seem to be living in a world at the moment in which there's a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration and a lot of distraction. And we're being told a lot of things that we have to do, things that we're supposed to abide by, things that if we don't, then there's a penalty connected to it. And most of this is emanating, of course, from the government. About 3 years ago, you may remember, there was a dishevelled looking gentleman who was telling us through the medium of television to stay at home, to stay locked inside and not go out into the sunshine, that we were there to prevent some virus from spreading around. We were told that if we did break certain rules, there would be penalties. And this situation, of course, caused a lot of people a lot of worry and a lot of fear. And as time has gone on and people have thought about this and thought about the consequences of this, and not least when we were told not to go to the hospital or go to the GP or try any other medication, but there was a medication, the preferred medication, the one that was pretty much mandated. I mean, people were cajoled, persuaded by threats and menaces to take one particular medication for a virus that was not really affecting most people, and people did it. And now there seems to be rather horrendous side effects as a result of this. It just seems to me that what authority did this dishevelled gentleman with the white hair have to tell us to stay at home, to stay inside and not go out and not have what I would call our fundamental rights as living men and women on this planet within common law? What's going on? Just who is the government? Well, I'm indebted to one of my viewers who sent me a presentation, which I'm going to link in the description, so please check it out, because it gives you a detailed account of exactly who the government is and what it is, and in fact a whole load of stuff which is a fabulous introduction to what's legal and what's lawful. Now, you will notice I've been speaking about this with different people, as I say, but this is a very good presentation and it's worth looking at. One of the things in the presentation which I found fascinating is if you go to a place called Dun and Bradstreet online, it's a register of all the companies, or pretty much loads of companies, thousands and thousands of companies in the world, and their origin and how they operate and the financial status of it. Now, part of the website requires you to become a member and presumably pay to have access to certain elements of this information. But that's not necessary if you just want to check the name of a company, a corporation. And it's quite shocking when you think that actually the United Kingdom is a corporation. The the concept of the United Kingdom, not England or Wales or Scotland, which we know as countries, but the United Kingdom itself as a concept is a corporation, which is quite astonishing. It's also quite astonishing to think that the government is also a corporation, a business. The House of Lords is a corporation, the House of Commons, the police, the NHS, the education system, elements of that are all incorporated. They're all businesses. They're all there to make money because that's what businesses do. Even the office of the Prime Minister is a business. The Cabinet Office is a business, which is a bit strange, is it not? Because we, as living men and women of this country and other countries, we vote in who we think are members of the community, who are there to help us sort out a few issues and problems, to represent our issues and problems and our views. And they would go to this collective called the Houses of Parliament, a corporation, by the way, and that these people are there to actually help us. What we don't really think about is that actually what we are consenting to, what we're contracting with, is businesses. Which is why when you get the council tax, a corporation, your council being a corporation, a business, to make money. That's what businesses are all about, to make money. Not necessarily there to help you, of course, they're there to make money. And they'll put an invoice through your door for services they want to do for you, and this is the cost it's going to be. You haven't actually contracted with them. There's no liability to say, oh yes, this is a contract that I would like. That there is no liability. You just are told through a lot of threats and menaces that you have to pay this. You have to pay it. But these are businesses that, in a way, we have not contracted with them. Now, and if we have, because we don't understand that these are businesses, then the contract is not of full disclosure. So, of course, it is therefore null and void because they haven't told you that they're a business. They haven't told you, and you haven't signed an agreement with them. But the government itself, the Prime Minister itself, are trading as a business. So my question is, what authority does that business have over you as a man or a woman than any other business, than a business that sells ice cream or bananas or fires or bricks or any household? I mean, what makes a business decide that it's going to tell you what to do? Is it the name of the business, the way the business operates, dressing up in theatrical costumes, in fancy dress, if you like? The police are also a business. And there seems to be a complete misunderstanding about what these people are and why they are supposedly working for us. So do watch this presentation because I've found it incredibly enlightening and it's helping me understand what's going on. But if you've got a businessman just standing up telling you you've got to stay at home, or you've got to pay this fine, or you've got to obey these rules, and yet they're just a private business, why is it any concern of me as a living man on this planet, which, if the law states, the common law, the law of the land states that nobody can be above the law, that we're all equal? If we are all equal, how is it that a business person can tell me what to do to prevent me going out of my house by using their enforcement agency to ensure that I don't? Where's the power? Where is the power that they've suddenly granted over me. Oh, the Crown Estate, the King and all of that, another business. It is quite shocking because when we go to school, another business, they indoctrinate in us a world in which we become basically employees. It's a weird system, isn't it? Because the Inland Revenue, which is a business, the government, a business, are employing us, and yet we pay to be members of it. We pay all these taxes they tell us to pay. It's very confusing. It's very strange. It's very off-putting. And the government, this business, is now wanting to install extra things for us, 15-minute cities and central bank digital currency, for example, or push us into having heat pumps and taking away our cars, making out that we can have electric cars and saying that that's solar energy and the other one, whatever that is, solar energy and wind are the only ways, and nuclear maybe if if we can spend the money. It just seems to me very odd that we are complying as living men and women on this planet in which no man is above us, complying and thinking and misunderstanding that these businesses, which we don't have to have anything to do with, that we're obeying. Does that not strike you as being a bit weird? That we're just going, oh, here's a business, they've just put their invoice through the door, I haven't asked for it, and now they want me to pay. Or here's a business who, I haven't really asked for it, they're telling me what to do. Now, you might argue, yes, hang on a minute, you voted for them. Is that where the contract is? And maybe that is. Maybe when we vote for what we think of as a political party, a business, we're thinking that actually they're just a bunch of people who are like us, free individuals who want to sort of help us and don't have a remit of themselves to actually extract as much money as physically possible from us. And maybe that's where the mistake is. Now, I would argue because they haven't been open and honest, not full disclosure has been given that they are actually a business, that the contract of voting for them is null and void. But they may argue that that's not the case. So when the election comes up now, I personally think that the whole business of, the House's business, they even call it business in the House, that whole business is, to me, null and void, and I don't want any part of it, which is why I want to deregister. I'm going to deregister. I'm not going to be voting. I'm not going to engage with them. I'm going to make them relevant. They can be their own little business and play the game of being the leaders of the country if they so wish. But I don't actually think they have any more authority than if I just set up a little business and said, I'm going to call myself Prime Minister. Why not? The Prime Minister of my business. It's just I don't have all that money and a big house and a big tower with a bell in it. I don't have all that sort of money to spend on a media, which again is another business and associated and being paid money to be able to spout all of that. I don't have any of that, and to be honest with you, I have no notion really or no desire to tell other people how to live their lives. I just want to share my knowledge with people as it comes in, and my knowledge is pretty small, but I think common law, living men, living women, doing no harm is a far better solution to life than a number of cloak and dagger businesses coming along and dictating what we're going to have and pretending that they are like us and that they are one of us and that they are nice and benevolent people, when actually they are corporations set up to get as much money, because they're there for a profit, out of anybody who contracts with them. So I don't want to contract with them. I don't want to have anything more to do with them, just as I don't want anything more to do with a number of businesses that I don't respect or respond or enjoy or whatever, whose services I have no use of. I have no use of, for example, the services of mountaineers. Some people do. They might want to buy ice picks or ropes and things to climb mountains. I don't. So I don't engage with them. I don't have to engage with companies that go, I don't know, skiing, another mountain related thing. Not that I've got anything against mountains particularly. I like walking up mountains in my own way, but I'm not really interested in skiing. So I don't engage with companies that sell skiing apparatus. I don't really want to engage with companies that just want to basically extract money for me and pretend that they have some authority over me. So I won't be voting, and I'm going to make this government as much as I can, even though they use threats and menaces and have employed an army and all these sort of things to sort of really try and convince me that they are not just a business. I will do my best. But that's what they are. And I imagine if more and more people really understood that they're just businesses like any other business, only they pretend so viciously, so openly, and so, you know, as if they are more than just a trading business for profit. Be interested in your thoughts, how you feel about these businesses and these businessmen who shuffle in front of cameras, dishevelled or whatever, and try to tell you how to run your life. Why should they do that?